Okay, so we are finishing up our notes with Project 5 on space. You are going to skip the page in your notebook that says 1 point perspective. We are going to come back and do that at a different time together as a class. And we are going to look at the space page. You have a plus sign and a negative sign that you need to cut out for this first part. So you can cut that out and then unpause me when you're ready to actually start the notes. Okay, so space is going to be the area around and within objects in a work of art. So pretty much the whole picture is space. If your picture is really shallow, like the picture at the top of this little bunny, you're going to use positive and negative space. Positive space is always what is inside of the artwork. So inside the bunny, that's positive space. Outside the bunny, that's negative space. Whatever the subject of your artwork is, that's the positive space. Anything that is not part of that subject, negative space. So go ahead and glue the plus sign and the negative sign down to your paper so you know where positive and negative are supposed to be. This works really great when you have simple images. It does not work as well when you have a much more complex scene like this one. For that one, we have to use foreground, middle ground, background. For this, you can either use colored pencils to color in and then label, or you can just take your pencil and outline the parts that are the correct ground. So when we're looking here, this purple, the tree, this fence, this ground with the big grass pieces, this is all part of your foreground. It's right in front of you. It is the closest part to you. Where the grass gets a little smaller, the tree gets a little smaller, that's now your middle ground. And then finally, the house in the way back behind this little bit of a hill here, as well as all of this up here with the blank sky, that's all going to be your background. Okay, so I'm going to pause this here, go ahead and finish filling that guy in, and then we're going to finish up our notes with different illusions of ways to create space. For those notes, you will have to actually cut out all of those pieces, so you can also do that now while we're paused, and then unpause me after you've cut all of the pieces out. Alright, here are our tricks to creating space. The first one says overlapping. We're going to take two of the gray squares, or rectangles, and put them on top of each other. So you know that if one shape is blocking another shape, that means that the first shape is in front. That's all that means. So go ahead and glue down your two rectangles. For size, when we think about how does size work in the real world, as things get farther away from you, they get smaller. As things come closer to you, they get bigger. So you can take those three rectangles that change in size and add those to your size box. The next one says detail. It's much easier to see detail when it's close to you. Our eyes aren't as good at seeing detail when it gets really, really far away. Things get simplified or blurry. So things like a stop sign, if the stop sign is really far away, you won't necessarily be able to read the word stop, and you might not even be able to see that there's white letters on it at all. So go ahead and glue down your two stop signs. The last bit of gluing is going to be color. Just like with the detail, brighter colors look like they're closer to you because we can see them better. More gray colors look like they're faded and farther away from us and in the background. For the last one, we don't have anything to glue. We just have to draw a little picture here. It says Converging Lines. This is when we use our 1 point perspective in order to create a illusion that there is space in this work. Great, and those are all of your notes for our very last project. If you find that you are missing some notes, you can go on Schoology and there is the whole playlist of all the videos, so you don't have to search for which ones you're missing. I will be going through and checking all of these to give you credit for filling in your notes, but you also know that these can be used during your final exam to help you answer those questions. So you really, really want to make sure that they have all of the answers there for you to help as much as you can. If this is not done, you have just assigned yourself some homework. If this is done, congratulations, you are finished with your notes.